You're watching Experience Comic Culture and Sales, streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
Hello, everybody.
Sorry. Did you hear that?
Is that what Robbie heard when he got his award?
That's what happens when I'm gone for the weekend, man.
Before we start any of this buy comic book stuff, whatever, I'm going to show people this first.
All right, here we go.
This is something I asked Nick for at a con in, I think, 2018 in San Diego. Then I asked him for it again in 2020. And people have this tendency to say, oh, John asked for crazy stuff. That never happens. Wednesday, for New Comic Book Day, issue 1 of King Kong, The Great War. This cover's by Joe DeVito. This is something I've waited a long time for. King Kong is one of those things that literally for the entirety of my life has been little kid watching the original movie. Love King Kong.
Yeah, that's the only one we printed.
And I'm super glad that, yeah, right? Yeah, right. It was one and done.
We didn't print any others. That's the only one we printed.
So I'm super excited.
To make John stop.
Whatever you check out on Wednesday, before you get back into this room at 6 o'clock on Wednesday, you had better have bought King Kong: The Great War. Otherwise,
there's only one copy.
There's one copy.
The one we printed for you.
We will start the bidding of 1 and 1. 1 and 1. No, this is a really cool idea. They've done a lot about this stuff. This is kind of, like obviously World War I, Great War type stuff. Other people have done King Kong with varying degrees of success over the years. Based on this first issue, I'm super excited about this. I understand the creative team had like a few changes in directions. They finally got what they wanted. The covers are awesome. We'll show them more on Wednesday because I'll be super excited about this. But, get your pennies together now because this is something that I'm looking forward to. The art in here is amazing. There's another book previewed a little bit that's going to be up soon. Actually, there's a couple like really cool 2-page promos in here. So this is something that's worth taking a peek at this store.
So
now, go ahead, sell books.
Shout out to Preston, Kenneth Bird, Easy Go Lucky, CJ. What's going on? Let me see.
Edward just claimed my copy. It's gone.
It's gone. It's out of here. We have one because it was the only way. We printed one so John would stop asking.
You called the printer, dude. I just need one. He won't shut up,
dude. I owe him a favor now.
He won't shut up.
He wants the John Cole sandwich, by the way. I showed him a picture.
No.
John Spilios, Ed Weird, what's up? Let me see. Who else is in the house? I said Lyle. My God, it's cold up there.
Oh yeah, I started listening to a podcast. I learned this from Robbie about subgenres of horror, and it turns out something I'm really liking is what a lot of the genre experts now call Arctic horror. I love this idea of you're stuck at the top of the bottom of the world. Help isn't really coming, man. It's you, maybe a small group of people. I mean, I guess probably the best known example of this is either 1980's The Thing or 1949's The Thing from Another World.
Right.
I just always really like that. I found a podcast which is essentially that.
Right.
They send this guy down to an Antarctic station, and he's all like, "Woohoo, man! I can't believe I got this job." Very quickly, he realizes why they sent him down there. Nobody wants to be down there.
Like, how many more aside from The Thing? How many more are there? Right? Like, surely, are there that many to have a subgenre? I mean, I guess there are a lot of ripoffs. I'm sure too.
I mean, I guess there are somewhat, but I'm going to be honest and say no. And I'm not the horror expert you are. There's a handful of these things.
I mean, there's
Lovecraft,
a lot. Right?
John Campbell's Halt Who Goes There, which is where we get The Thing from. When people mention that in the genre, I'm like, hold on a second. All those things are kind of one thing.
Right.
Halt Who Goes There is written in the early 40s. In the late 40s, it's a radio drama. 1949, it's a movie. 1980, it's a movie. 2011, it's a movie. So I don't know if you're saying that's different things. The best descriptor I've found for it is Arctic horror, and there's a few things.
Looking up Arctic horror movies, and you got The Thing, and you got Dead Snow, you got Let the Right One In. These are just things that take place in like cold areas, but they have Frozen, which is an Adam Green film that I love, and I don't know if you've seen it, but it's about this couple and their friend who get stuck on a ski lift, like on a weekend when there's a big snowstorm and it's completely closed off the ski resort. Somehow they get stuck at the top, and it's called Frozen, but it's not the Disney one, right? But it's called Frozen.
No.
Yeah, and it's so good. And it doesn't seem like that concept would carry like a almost 2-hour movie or an hour and a half. It does, and it is terrifying. There are like wolves under them. One of them tries to jump, breaks his legs. Like it's gnarly. It's a really good movie.
Well, I think that if you look at it, that Frozen kind of thing lends itself well to horror. I mean, even in not classic horror movies like Transformers, okay, where did they find the what's his name, Decepticon? I forget the big bad guy.
Megatron?
They found him frozen. Remember? Yeah, Megatron. Yeah, they discovered he's been frozen in ice. It lends itself well to it because of that freezing feature. But all right, we got a ton of books, so I really got to get started. We're gonna run out of time.
Anyway, the whole point of that story was the way the guy
story had a point.
In this case, it did, because the way the guy describes the thing in the opening, it's like Lyle's neighborhood.
Right.
He's like, I don't know how many degrees below Celsius, the wind won't stop, and I can't see my hand in front of my face. Like the way the guy who's describing this, and then he realizes he liked it because he wanted privacy and quiet in the first episode. Then he realizes pretty quickly, there's nobody down here, man. They all leave. They're all like, good luck. We'll be back in a year for you. And they all jump on like the snowcats. They get to the plane, and they take off. And he's like, I'm here by myself. And then very shortly thereafter, I'm here by myself.
All right. So it is Jay tonight. It was CJ asking. All right. So here we go. As always, Dynamite 10-pack reader set, 10 random Dynamite titles. A cover price of $3.99 or higher, and as always, we have it for $5 as a thank you to the group. So 50 cents a copy, you really can't go wrong. All right. So next up, we've got Infinity #1 Midtown Comics exclusive, signed by Jonathan Hickman. Very tough signature to get these days. And we have the one available, number 176 of $325 for $39.99. And you send away to get a Hickman signature, you're going to spend a lot more than $39.99. So that is available tonight as well. Love that cover. So, Robbie, how have you been, buddy?
Oh, I've been great. Had a great weekend. Watched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Absolutely loved it. Loved it. It's my birthday week. My birthday is Wednesday, so that's always exciting. Yeah, so it's been a good, solid weekend. Went and got a fresh cut yesterday, Rex. Got a fresh hair.
Well, yeah, because your partner is going to take you, I'm sure, for a birthday dinner sometime this week.
Oh yeah, me and everybody, we're gonna go out to Twin Peaks.
Oh, nice. You are so into his personal life. Like, who is he dating? What's going on?
You just admitted. We all know it's happening. I guessed it. Okay, but he's going to be all mysterious, so I'm going to keep bringing it up.
When you have an award, you don't need to tell that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you do. Actually, when you get an award, that's when everybody wants to know.
All right.
That's how you have tabloids, John. Nobody's reading tabloids about Rex and John.
That's true.
Well, there you go. See, so when you win an award, it actually justifies the invasion of privacy.
That there's some weird subreddit thread where people get together on Reddit and make fun of dishes that people post in my Facebook group for food. And the minutia of that blew my mind, because this is like a South Jersey food group, right?
Oh, send me the link.
And apparently somebody decided like they didn't like certain people and certain dishes, and I really hate this mod. So they created a subreddit, and then they invite people to go over there and talk about it. One of the very few times in my life I just stared at my iPad for a minute and I read it 3 times, because I'm like, I'm not reading this right. I'm not, So you made one group about another group on a social media platform about food. That's how much free time you have in your day.
Send me the link. Hopefully I can get an invite. Marcus, what's up, bro? All right, so next up, we have X23, Deadly Regenesis #1, Silver Signature Series by Erica Schultz. Suggested retail of $69.99. And we have one available, special price, 8 of only 63 signed for $29.99.
Man, Silver Signature Series. That's a nice cover.
That is a nice cover.
Marcus says that Rex, you may not be in the tabloids, but you're all over LinkedIn, is what Marcus says.
I'm not trying to be. Yeah. Unfortunately, you're using my LinkedIn profile to I'm getting those. I keep getting those phishing. How are you? What are you doing? You got a Triple B.
Triple B's got it. This is your long lost son trying to find you.
No, now it's dates, dude.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, hi, have you been? I haven't spoken to you in a long time. I just go lose my number. I block the number, and then they find a new number. It's getting ridiculous, bro. It is getting ridiculous.
I'm so glad I have little to no value to anyone. I just enjoy my peaceful day. The only person who reaches out to me constantly is Regal Cinemas.
Oh, they love you.
Oh my God! Between the emails and the texts,
not the executives.
Well, they like to check in on you, right, John? They like to.
You know who likes me? The VP of promotions. You know who hates me? The comptroller.
Yeah.
Because he or she is looking at the money, going, "He's killing us. He's straight killing us."
It's all red.
Well, they like to check in on you, John.
Sometimes it's all red. What?
Sometimes I'm sure that they're like, "Hey, John hasn't been here in 3 hours. Is he okay? Let's check in on him. Send him an email."
Somebody call his wife.
3 hours ago, I was in the movies. What are you talking about?
Check the theaters. Make sure he didn't die inside theaters. Then we're legally liable. Okay, that's what they're panicking about.
My wife said that. She's like, "Man, that would make life easier if you kick in the theater." She's like, "Not only do I have to clean up the mess, I'm suing." I'm like, I don't want to hear this, man. I have a good relationship with my
love.
There you go. I was in the theater 3 hours ago.
What, you think I didn't believe you, John? Come on. And Weird says, hashtag help Rex. I'm stuck in Hooters and I need $100.
$100.
Or they're not going to let me leave. Why would you want to leave? Okay. On second thought, never mind. Yeah, that's right. Good job, Weird. Call us later.
That's a nice pickup by Triple B, though. That is a nice pickup.
Well, I know he's an X23.
I think they're going to move forward with X23 in a more MCU type of way. I'm kind of looking forward to that a little bit. I always said I think that's the solution. Everyone's like, "What's our solution to the Hugh Jackman problem?" Meaning you got to replace Wolverine. Don't replace Wolverine. Don't replace Hugh Jackman. Replace Wolverine with X23.
Yeah, that's not
find an actress that works. And go with that. I love Wolverine, but I've seen everything I need to see in the MCU. Well, not MCU, but in Marvel films.
Right.
They've done everything they can do. The pop the claws, the magnet stuff. He hates Cyclops. Flirting with Jean Grey.
Yeah, but you haven't seen in live action is Hulk versus Wolverine. Come on, there's so much potential to
I wouldn't hate that.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I absolutely wouldn't.
That would be pretty good.
Maybe they could
which
work.
Hulk?
You know what? Maybe they could. My interest is every Hulk before Mark Ruffalo. I'm disinterested in, and I like Mark. What's his name? Newman. I can't think of his name.
Ed Norton.
Ed Norton. Thank you. I like that guy as an actor. I just didn't like him as the Hulk. I like him in a bunch of other stuff. Eric Bana is one of these actors that every woman in my wife's book club thinks is gorgeous, and I'm like, he just looks like a waiter, man. He looks like a middle-aged waiter. He does nothing for me.
Eric Bana is fantastic in Black Hawk Down. I'll tell you that.
Yes.
Black Hawk Down. Oh, yes. I remember him. Yes.
Yeah, the Ridley Scott film, right? With the helicopter that goes down.
Or something like that.
He was in Troy or something, too.
Yeah, he was.
And that was a good movie. You have to have a certain...
He was Hector in Troy.
The same way in pro wrestling, you've got to have it to get over and make money. It's the same thing in movies in Hollywood. You can push these guys, actors, man, woman, I don't care. You can push them as hard as you want to. If people don't buy into them, they don't buy into them.
Right.
And I think Eric Bana is a guy they decided they liked. He was talented, this, that, or whatever. But somehow less talented actors than him, like Chris Pratt, advanced right on past him. And I love Chris Pratt, but he's just not a talented actor.
Hey,
Amy. Amy's here.
So, all right, we are going to have to talk about...
I'm listening.
We are going to have to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, don't we have a thing right there?
Oh, everyone, real quick, like the video. Make sure you're handing your forms at the end because it helps me a lot.
Yes.
Thank you.
Do all that. And then I'm sure Amy will want to come in and talk about that when we get to it. But since 3 out of 4 people have seen it in the room, it'll be a good topic. All right, so here we go. Next up, we have Scarlet Spider, #1, first printing silver signature series. I spelled series wrong. Signed by Ryan Stegman. It's just a retail of $69.99. Number 46 of 50, signed in silver, and we have one available for $40.
I was just using like silver signature night.
I don't know. Just sort of worked out that way. Yeah, kind of.
The silver signature works really well with the color on this the coloring of this cover. I like that.
I always really liked this costume for Scarlet Spider, and I think that this is the Kane when Kane took over the moniker of Scarlet Spider. But I've always loved this costume. Always loved it.
Right,
and Stegman's going ham with the webs here, isn't he? Like that's some intense webbing going on.
I was going to say it's like Ken Heiser and the Bats. Now I don't, you know what I mean? He decided we're going to do this, and okay.
All right. So next up, this is a warehouse find. Infinity Gauntlet #1, Scotty Young variant, signed by Thanos creator Jim Starlin. Number 5, only 30 signed. We have one available. All right, and this was our retail price in 2015, and we're holding that retail price at $49.99.
Really? Did he sign it in Thanos purple? This
did.
Is the Thanos purple signature.
The Thanos purple signature. Yep, he did.
Did he sign it right over the UPC as well?
He did. Yes, sir. All right, Preston, you got it, buddy.
Good luck getting that scanned into your comic book database.
All right. So you got it. I got you, Preston.
I like when creators do that. Like if it's a Hulk book, they'll do it in green. I mean, I like green anyway, regardless of the color, right? I love when they sort of kind of really like buy into.
Well, you're a little particular about your green, if I remember correctly.
I am. I've spoken to more than one creator about it.
Oh man, do you want to name them in the event anybody's drinking?
What was really funny was this was a little while back. I was talking to Dave Avalone about the writer's strike. Actually, one of the things he mentioned was
name drop.
He would do it, but he would have trepidation writing a Green Hornet story because he really doesn't want my daily DMs, so that he's instructing whoever the artist is. Make sure you color test these and send me samples before you just rush willy-nilly over to Nick's desk with it.
You know, I was just wondering how many writers that are part of the GA that John has been messaging on Twitter being like, hey, since you're on strike, you know, why don't you pitch a Green Hornet book for Dynamite Publishing?
Nick is going to get a surprising number of emails.
And they're responding, who is this?
No. Trust me, creators know who I am. My face is on posters. They know who I am.
Yeah, the kind with the little bullseye on
It's usually this reaction.
You know?
Oh, hi.
The little circle with the cross out of it. Do not talk to this man. All right. So Lyle wants to know why there's so many variants for Batman 135.
Because it's issue 900. So they're making it extra special. And forcing retailers to buy even more than they typically would. So there you go. That's why.
Keep buying and stop complaining about it. Give till it hurts. No, the truth is twofold. One, it's issue 900, so it should be something special.
Right.
And on the flip side, this sounds horrible to say, but money. You know what I mean? There are people out there, I mean, and I'm not trying to hammer anyone, but there's a certain dollar mentality attached to this.
Right.
Is it friendly to Robbie and other retailers? No. I don't even know if it's super friendly to fans because, you know, at $5.95 a book, Robbie, $4.95, $5.95 a book.
This one was more, right? Because this one was like even extra sized, right? But it was a good book. It was a good book too. But I like choice. I like the variants. I don't mind choice. And sometimes as a retailer, it can get obnoxious, but it's not obnoxious like Batman having as many covers as it wants. I have no problem with that. I got plenty of people that will buy every Batman cover. I have no problem sitting on Batman books at all if I need to, right? Batman sells indefinitely.
That's essentially
when it's like a tiny little book, and then they're like, let's say there's a tiny book that I'm only going to order 20 copies of, but then they want 6 covers. How do I divvy that up? You know, like, come on.
So it's weird. John didn't go to the movie one day, so they printed his picture on a missing persons on all Popcorn buckets. All right, next up, Amazing Spider-Man number 795. It's a third printing, signed in silver by Christo Gage.
Oh,
It's number 10 of only 15 signed. Suggested retail of $69.99, and it is one of our 5-star at $50 books of the night.
You know, I like the black and white, right? It's always cool to see Alex
I feel
Ross
it is
black
very cool.
and white. But what I love extra more about this is that they kept the logo in red. And that makes the whole thing just pop. And gives me vibes of like Werewolf by Night a little bit, almost.
yeah. This is, and I'll tell you, Christo Gage is one of the nicest people. I was down in like Artist Alley a while back or whatever, or that Writers Row, that creators area, and he was just kind of saying hi to everybody and signing different things that he'd done for people or whatever. And this line was long and huge, and that guy's smile did not leave his face.
Nice.
And I remember thinking, like sitting next to him was Chris Roberson, who I know.
So you're saying it wasn't like a Peach Momoko incident where she hit under the table?
It was. I wasn't going to bring that up. But Chris Roberson,
that poor woman must have been so scared for herself to do that.
Chris Roberson, I've known since he was doing Monkey Brain in the beginning.
Right.
So I don't really get on the line. I just kind of walk around and say hi because I don't really have anything.
So is that a name drop? Kind of, yeah.
Oh, he's a comic book creator, and he did Doc Savage.
You pointed out that you don't have to wait in line, so that is.
Well, be clear. Sort of I don't wait in line because I'm not getting anything signed. I just kind of come over and say hello. I'm sure if I had a stack of books, they would expect me to wait in line. But you could tell that I'll just say this. I really like Chris, but his hour 1 face and his hour 3 face, there's a big difference. By the third hour, he's kind of like, let's
go Triple B, go. Take the 2 shots for me and you. All right, so we got 4 minutes before the break. Let's get through the first page. So next up, we got Guardians of the Galaxy number 1.
Nice.
Scotty Young variant. And signed by artist Justin Ponsor, taken away from us a little too early. It's a real shame, especially with cancer and stuff. But I love this particular cover. I mean, I know Scotty Young. Some people love him, some people don't. I personally find it, his art like engaging because it's a kid version.
Scotty Young is almost in that. I hope I don't say his name wrong. The Chris Iliopoulos thing where, you know what I mean? They have a style. It's very stylized, right? And if you dig it, you dig it. And if you don't, you're like, oh God, I don't want to buy this or have it in my collection. One of my all-time favorite books ever, Chris Iliopoulos did, it was called Franklin Richards, Son of a Genius.
Yeah.
Man, he had so much fun doing that book. It would be like, imagine if there was a Sunday comic family circus style strip for Franklin Richards. It was awesome. And they did it a few times. I think they tried really hard to get it over. I just think it had a real tiny audience. And
he had a really good run doing like these like comic strips that would be in the back of Marvel Comics. They were called like mini Marvels. I think they collected
those. Something, yeah.
All right, so this has a retail of $39.99. It's number 4 of 25, of only 25 signed. We have one available for $19.68, the year that Guardians of the Galaxy first appeared. So that is a bargain for a
especially right now. I'm just getting stuff.
Especially right
Hi,
now.
how you doing?
Oh, you know what? Let me throw this one out before we have to go to break. Superman number 1, Elite Gold Signature Series by Josh Williamson. It is number 10 of only 85 signed. Suggested retail of $89.99. It is the only best offer item we have of the night, starting at $38.
Josh Williamson is one of my favorite writers. He's another character I used to whine and complain about constantly, that he, and I'm not taking credit for this, but that he got Dark Horse to publish, was Captain Midnight. I loved his run on Captain Midnight. It's a real obscure character. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not the sort of thing. It was almost like I think Mike Richardson really published it as like a labor of love. I don't think he expected to make a killing.
Right.
But before Josh made that jump to to DC, he put everything he had into this book. And I tell people right now, as much as it pains me to say it, you can find a lot of these copies at cover price. I saw a store when I was in Chicago a few years ago that had them in the dollar bin. But I'll tell you right now, if you just want to read a fun comic, something a little bit earlier from Josh. Go find that book. It's really a fun story.
Josh has also been doing just a great job on Superman and making it such an exciting title using established villains. People forget that Superman's got one of the best rogues galleries out there. He's doing some interesting stuff with Lex and Superman and their dynamic. And the book is just phenomenal. And I got to chat with Josh a little bit at MegaCon because he's been on the show before. I consider him a homie, a friend of the show. And lots of great stuff are coming up in the pages of Superman. Trust me.
Yeah. Well, he's sort of, if you look at his varied background, we'll talk about Nailbiter.
Yeah, Nailbiter's great.
Probably the thing that, I don't know how Robbie feels about this.
Yes, CJ, that was definitely.
But I have a hard time finding quality horror comics. I have to sift through a lot of not great horror comics to find something I like. He did a book called Ghosted, which is like one of my all-time favorite things ever that I've read.
Ghosted is great. It's like a reality show at like a haunted house, basically, almost in a way. It's it's a heist. That's what it is. It's a heist at a haunted house.
This guy is hired to basically steal a ghost. And,
all right, so
it's a very cool idea.
We got to go to our first break, and we'll be back in a couple minutes. Stay with us.
Do you remember what it was like when you were a little kid and you got a letter in the mail? Now imagine that letter was filled with information about your favorite shows, pop culture questions, links to things you're going to want to see later, and even sneak peeks at upcoming programming here on The Experience. That's what the EXP mailing list is. Every week, we send you sneak peeks, information, and all of the relevant links for all of the shows you want to see. Sign up now on our website or scan the QR code that's on your screen right now. Did you know that every Experience show, including some exclusive content, streams on Twitch? Check it out, twitch.tv/the_EXP. Or just scan that QR code.
You just finished the last episode of your favorite new show, and you just have to talk about it. But all your friends are ghosting you because of that incident last week at the buffet. Oh, you know the one. What you did to that chowder. Ugh. Keeps me up at night. So what do? Join writer Dan Wickline as he breaks down all your favorite pop culture media. Whether it's a review of the latest nerdy TV show or a dive back into the history of your favorite comic characters, Dan's ready to discuss all the hottest topics live. Join the conversation as Dan live streams Tuesday through Thursday at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. The Dan Wickline Show on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
Programming on the EXP is made possible by viewers like you, or your local comic shop, or that Kickstarter you backed, or the publisher you like, or comic industry professionals who want to share a message with the world. Really, anyone who wants to advertise with us can. If you're interested in seeing a product you know and love, or are creating, or are publishing, or are involved with, advertised here on The Experience, and having your message shared with our viewers, please reach out by scanning the QR code below or visiting our website and using the contact form.
Rex. All right. And
Poor Rex.
thank you,
Rex has
Jay.
water once a day. He's allowed water break.
Thank you, Jay. I know somebody cares. Cares about me anyway.
You could have
Not
told me for a
John.
beer at Yard House after the movie before we did the show.
Oh my God. All right. So, how was everybody's new comic book day?
Every
Oh,
day is free comic
Free
book day
comic
for
book
me,
day.
man. What are you talking about?
I know it is for you. For everybody else out there,
I'm
who
the
actually has
last
to pay
person
for
to
their
ask.
comics.
I'll tell you how my free comic book day went. Just like this.
Oh God. All right. Oh, you know what? We're gonna do a giveaway.
Oh, we're doing a
let's-
giveaway?
Yeah, we're gonna do the
You have a
Loot
picture? You
Crate,
want me to hold it up?
Nope. We don't have a picture.
I'll hold it
Loot
up.
Crate, just hold it up there, man. It's the Loot Crate.
Oh. Deadliest woman in the galaxy.
There you go. So that will be the giveaway of the night. So let's do hashtag Gamora. That
Yeah.
makes more sense, right? That makes sense. All lowercase. If you please, Jay.
GAMORA.
All right. So all you got to do is throw that hashtag as soon as Jay has it. There we go. Thank you, Jay.
I'll tell you my take on Free Comic Book Day real quick. I saw tons of people talking about it, like in Facebook groups and in my Twitter circle for comics, and that makes me happy. Because if people are talking about it, that means they were posting stuff that they got. You know what I mean?
Right,
and they were
right.
sort of like trying new books and really hitting the stores.
Yeah, that's good.
Gail Simone on that day spends almost the entire day
Right.
in front of her laptop, basically Instagram, like whatever the social media platform is, out there telling people just go to comic stores, try this, try that. You know what I mean? She literally spends like 6-7 straight hours, and she's done it for 3 or 4 years in a row now, where she's just, she's shouting out, she's retweeting places, she's shouting places out. I think that, a lot of creators are involved, but she really kind of literally carves out the day to sort of, you know what I mean, push the industry, push the stores, push the creators, retailers, as much as she can.
So Jay, is this hashtag going to work, buddy? Just give me a quick heads up. I imagine that it would. I just want to double check with our buddy Jay. Jay is.
He's taking a water break right now. He's getting his one water break today.
He's taking his water break.
Yeah, let's just make sure it's water in that cup, boys.
Although I don't know how remote this is, but if I worked with Kyle, there would be no water break. There would be like a barbecue rib break. Because even when Kyle posts pictures of barbecue that didn't place in competitions, it looks drop dead delicious. So I would be asking for like.
Oh, Sean, thank you.
I guess
Kyle.
I showed up at the right time to talk about barbecue, huh?
Okay. All right. So Sean says that Jay's area is having a bad storm roll through.
Oh,
So
Yeah, Jay just lost power, so I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Jay,
All right.
hope
Well,
everything's
perfect
right, bud.
timing. Barbecue. Let's talk barbecue.
Barbecue.
I'm hungry. Let's have barbecue. Where's my bag?
No, but there are times where
Yeah,
Kyle.
whoa. Where's my brown paper bag?
There's no cooking today, man. There was movies and there was
Damn the
Yard
Guardians
House,
of
and
the
then I came over
Galaxy.
here.
Damn them.
Um,
Change on Deluxe 69. Thanks for joining us, man. I'm
Yeah,
sorry to hear
Kyle
sailing
will send me
order.
pictures of what, oh, this didn't do that well today or whatever. And I'm thinking, I know people that would crawl over broken glass to get these ribs or whatever. You know what I mean? That world is so exacting.
I would send you over broken glass to get it for me.
I'm serious with their world. I've been to barbecue shows, not as a judge, but that world is so exacting, and that is like an art form in and of itself, man.
So, Kyle, hashtag Gamora, will that work for the giveaway?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
I'm literally just here until Jay's lights come back on.
what if they don't?
Well, I don't know. Our hashtag. Do we need to do hashtag Sodom too, or?
Then Jay doesn't get his $8 for producing the show.
All right. So if Jay doesn't come back and we can't use the hashtag, I'll think of some
I just have to get it set up.
obscure trivia question that you can't look up on the internet.
How much money do I have in my pocket?
How many fingers am I holding behind my back?
I know, right?
All right. All right. You know what? In that case, let's just keep going.
Yeah, we'll
Just give me 30 seconds, Rex. I'll get it set up. I just didn't know we were doing a giveaway.
So, yeah, whatever.
Sean Butler says power is back on. He's just loading up, I think. All right, John Stout, what's going on? Thanks, Sean Butler.
He's out back with the generator.
I don't know. But if he gets Jay's power back, I don't know. What do we care?
I got to tell you, if I lived in that
All
part
right,
of the country
thank
where
you,
the storms were
Kyle.
bad,
Oh, I know.
I would absolutely have a generator.
Everybody hit that thumbs up yet?
It's Nick Break. Nick Break. We should have breaking news.
Probably
with
not.
Nick.
But
Hey,
I think
Two Gun
Nick
Pedro.
has something. Hey, Two Gun, what's going on? Pew pew. All right, so I think Nick has something to show us.
Now, I think Robbie may have seen this already, and some of the viewers have seen this. But for those that haven't, on Friday, on the original art experience, we are going to have the complete Spider-Man #7.
Oh, it's a whole book?
The whole book.
He's not going to have page 18 because he's going to send it to me for being a nice guy, though, right?
Oh, no. Oh.
You know, I think I'm going crazy. I hear voices in my head saying things that can't be true.
Wait, what's Kyle's thing? Should it be page 7?
I don't know. I just want to say that apparently
100 spider beings. By the way, Mark Bagley said this is the hardest book he's ever drawn.
I'm holding this up because apparently if you hound Nick enough, you can't get your title made. Just saying.
I set it up. Thank you, Nick. This is a book I wanted for a while. I very much appreciate it.
I stabbed that
Wow.
but
I get it.
Unnecessary. No stabbing necessary.
That's
Just
like
hit
phone
the
off
key
the
and you're
table.
okay.
Oh, man, look at this. You know what George Perez would call a page with 100 characters?
What?
Light work.
an afternoon's job.
And after, I think you like 3 hours, then have a nap. Sorry.
Look at this: spider buggy, spider transformer, spider shogun warrior.
Man.
Nick, do you know who the inker was on that issue?
It's two different anchors, John Dell and Andrew Hennessy.
Okay.
Because there's so much going on, they needed two anchors.
That's what I was going to say.
Private chat.
We're going to need a bigger anchor.
Got a private chat coming in. Rex, that's a hint for you.
Yeah, well, Nick, you're kind of standing in front of it, buddy.
Oh, here you go.
Only the StreamYard works on the big screen. All right, so it looks like Jay's back.
Okay.
Power is back for now.
Mark, there's too many variants for my old eyes to keep track of.
Spider Boy. Spider Boy.
I'll tell you what I find a lot of fun in this book. I don't know her exact name, but there's like a little anime type girl that has a giant spider robot. I find that super entertaining.
I'm also going to put the second Mark Bagley Amazing Spider-Man cover that he drew. And you could tell he's following Eric Larson here because look at the way he drew the webs and the way he drew Nova and Spider-Man. He was trying to keep that continuity. Kind of like John Romita Jr. with X-Men 176 to 180, where he was still trying to do a little bit of Paul Smith, or Ron Lim trying to follow Marshall Rogers on Silver Surfer. So now I'll take ones and twos. Ones, yes, twos, no. Should I put Spider-Man #1 with Miles Morales on the air on Friday? Ones are a yes, twos are a no.
I don't know why you don't just have him type in yes or no.
Because I forget. Because it's more fun when I forget. I got John doing a 1.
You can see it behind him. Like, do the one. Do the one. Everybody put up one.
Apparently, I'm not as fat as I thought. Marcus is undecided.
Ones and twos.
Or this is pure
Dude,
pencils.
Two-Gun Pedro
Oh,
dances against the stream.
What about this? Now let's go to Amazing Spider-Man 80 cover. Let's do yeses and nos so we don't confuse it.
Oh, gee, man, who said that?
Well, I'm
earlier?
saying not to confuse the cover. Yes, put it on Friday, or no. Red is for green, orange is for blue.
I like that one, Marcus.
I don't get the reference.
it's from Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
That's Guardians reference. That's,
Oh, and
that's
Marcus,
a funny moment,
I'm
man.
afraid Ken Hazer has refused to do your copper tone sketch cover with my face on it.
We
So
will
I'm
have
sorry.
Hazer CCAs. I'm going to make sure. Mr. Easy Go Lucky's kind of unsure.
There's two things I've ever heard Ken agree not to do. One is that copper tone cover, and one is books that I make up in my head that I want Nick to.
All right. Last but not least,
He's like, no, I got to pass on that.
should I put? Let's go with 3s and 4s. 3s for yes, 4s for no.
What?
I want to make sure we're not mixing up.
Nobody confused here.
Amazing Spider-Man 29. Should I put this cover on the air? 3 for yes, 4 for no. That is one kick butt cover, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy to see Spider-Man and Harry Potter like all like amalgamated like that. It's crazy.
Do you believe in magic?
They
So,
did some
Friday,
really cool
7
covers during that bit.
Friday, 7 o'clock. Would you say, buddy?
Eastern
I said
time.
they did some really cool covers when they were doing those wraparound covers where like they were like heads morphing into, you know, they did a few of those. I have all the
Right.
Fantastic Four ones. They're really cool.
Guys, this is going to be crazy on Friday.
And weird. Question for Nick. Why would anyone ever say no? Good question. I like that question.
You're a wizard, Peter. I like that too. Why would anybody say no? Some people might want us to just focus on the one book, you know, talk about all the pages. There are people that might say it should all be about Spider-Man 7.
Apparently not.
Well, I mean, we're
They've
getting kind of real close
overwhelmingly
to
voted.
we're getting real
They
close
want
to
it.
that Return to the Spider-Verse or whatever that movie is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Spider-Boy. I think with Spider-Man number 8 now selling out and going for multiples of cover price, I would say it's a safe bet that Spider-Boy will get his own series.
Yeah,
Long
I think that was one of those things where they were just looking for any excuse. They're like, we think this will work. We just need a little bit of, you know, substantiation. And yeah, when you start going to multiple printings.
So I put a lot of money into buying this.
Uh-huh.
So I said to,
And I wouldn't leave it next to John. I mean,
I
your first order of business. I'm just saying.
so
Whatever.
where I was going with this is a friend of mine was saying, don't you want to hold on to it? He'll probably be in the third Spider-Verse movie. More likely than not, he'll get his own series. And I said, look, I don't want to be Donna Karen, but she sold her company for $42 million.
Right.
And then was unhappy because it became $1 billion company,
Yes, I remember.
and she took the long kiss goodnight.
Big company. And she blew up after a while.
Yeah.
Or not her, but
Right. So I said, you know, if I sell this for X on Friday, if in a year it sells for 30%, 40% more than I sold it for, that'll be fine. But if when Into the Spider-Verse 3 itself,
300%.
I'm gonna cry.
We'll start the bidding. It's $16,000. Oh,
16. I wish it was gonna be that.
And a bottle of Nick's tears.
And I know, right? I mean, that's the rub of all this stuff, though. Right now, they kind of changed it up a little bit. You never know who they're going to tab for a movie or an animated series, and as a retailer or a publisher.
Nobody saw Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I was talking about that to someone at the
Well,
theater.
and I think that a little bit of that, oh my God, it's a movie has slowed down, but I mean the running joke is, oh, find characters that aren't in a Marvel movie or TV series. But what I will say, Into the Spider-Verse, if he makes it in there, he's going to be huge. But look, here's the thing that you know today. Issue 7 and Issue 8 are going for multiples. So, guys, tune in on Friday.
That kind of tells you what you
Great
know
stuff
right
will be on Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on The Experience.
Yeah. I've actually had situations where I thought I was going to sell something and I didn't, and I was lucky. So, well, we'll see.
Preston, we would need the whole bag.
How much for
Not a
Spider-Man? That's going to
handful.
be a big bag of pistachios.
We're going to need the whole bag, brother.
I don't know. A tiny bag of pistachios is like $20 now. So, you know, it just.
By the way, did everybody hit that thumbs up? I can't tell from it.
Maybe pistachios and a dozen eggs.
Now, you know what the key
That
is
might
going to be?
sweeten it up.
I'm going to wait, and then I'm going to find that the candy. There's a certain candy Nick likes, super specific Italian candy. I think pistachios are in it. I'm just going to start there little by little, and then when he says, this is so much, I'm just going to go, done, and put a big thing of candy down here.
Hey, real quick,
all right.
before I leave, do we want to look at this weekend's barbecue pictures? Because y'all were talking about it.
Yeah,
Throw 'em up.
absolutely.
Throw them up. I like to see them.
There's chicken.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Like like if that doesn't win, Kyle's like, "Oh, that wasn't great," and I'm like, "Dude, I mean, I used to
That
have
got his
customers
butt
that were
kicked
doing
12
voices.
ways to Sunday. That got his butt kicked. These were ribs.
Ooh. Now, what's underneath?
Usually,
Kale.
I think they use kale.
Kale. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Nick's dinner. And then this is
That's nice. You put
pork
dinner next to
tenderloin.
it on the same.
Nice.
Pork tenderloin served 3 ways there, and then this actually came in 5th overall, 3 points away from a perfect score. This is brisket.
Man, yes, that's absolutely brisket. And yeah, for people who might not be 100% sure, the reason it's plated this way is that's the rules. That it has to be plated a certain way. You can't go crazy. I know
Well, it makes everybody consistent.
everybody's on the same sort of. I think it's kale.
Yeah, that
There's
kinda
maybe
makes
like
sense.
one other. I was at a show where there was
Parsley,
kale
or you can use green head lettuce.
Thank you. Yeah, there's very little play. It's got to be the box. It's got to be the right.
Two Gun Pedro, we've been trying to get a spam contest going on, but they keep refusing us.
The sponsorship.
I found one, Rex.
What's that?
There's a steak cooking competition in Honolulu where the ancillary is spam.
That I understand because it's such a big part of their cuisine.
Yeah.
But I ain't going to Hawaii, man. I mean, I would, but it'd be a little expensive.
A good buddy of mine, his dad joined the Steak Cooking Association as a lark. He didn't think it was going to catch on. And now apparently it is just, wow. And because he was a barbecue guy, sold all his stuff to his son because, he's an older guy. He just wanted to mess around a little bit. Once again, he's back on the road every weekend. He's working his way through New York State,
So,
Pennsylvania,
Jay,
Ohio.
I would, but the Dynamite Jet's this big.
The Dynamite Jet.
It is to scale, though. All right, so last book in a row in the first page is Uncanny X-Men number 522. This is a variant incentive. It is 1-in-25 ratio, so retailers have to buy 25 to score 1.
Somewhere Dave Stevens is smiling.
Signed by artist Will Portacio. A tough signature to get. It's number 6 of 16 signed. And we have the one available for $69.99.
It's super cool to have an Image Founders signature available here, right? That's always super cool. But I love this Doctor Strangelove.
I know.
Yeah.
The homage.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, Ron. Yeah, let's do the CTAs next. You got it, buddy. Since you have to bounce. All right, so we
He's going to
have.
fill my texts with more funny jokes. That's like the best part of my day. I see a text from Ron, and I know it's going to be a funny story.
All right, let me get these out because Ron's got to bounce in 10 minutes. All right, so this one, true remark. Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures #1 Dynamic Forces exclusive cover by Ken Hazer, signed with Turtle Remark by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $89.99. We have the one available for $40.
Bruh, I didn't even see the turtle in the moon at first. I thought the turtles in the cape were the remark, and I was just like, whoa.
I thought the cape was the remark. Yeah, I was blown away by that, but now I see what you're talking about.
All right, so then we have
That's very
Guardians
cool.
of the Galaxy. We have one more of these left. #1, slightly different perspective from the one we had before, with Adam Warlock cover sketch by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail $99.99. We have the one available for $66.
Oh,
I know we're going to get into it soon and maybe a bit later, but Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 3, Warlock's in it. And after the movie, I looked at my homies. I was like, there's some hardcore Warlock fan right now who's just so upset.
oh yeah, somebody's got a vein in the side of their neck or head or whatever. Yeah.
All right.
Ken said he had a blast doing like the 70s hair. Like the part in the middle hair or whatever. I said, yeah.
I definitely want to talk about the movie, but let me get these last two out there for Ron. All right, so then we have Invincible Iron Man number 600, signed with Dr. Doom versus Iron Man, cover sketch by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza. Suggested retail of $149.99. We have this one available for $62.
Nice.
Road Collecting, what's up, man? All right, then finally the last sketch cover of the night. Amazing Spider-Man number 789, signed with Spider-Boy cover sketch by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza. Suggested retail of $109.99, and we have the one available for $79.99. Give Jay a second. Jay, can you find it, buddy?
Do you think his power went out again?
Uh-oh.
No, StreamYard deleted it on me. Give me just a second. I'll get it put back up.
No problem, buddy.
No worries, man.
All right.
Sure,
so that-
StreamYard did it, Jay. Sure. StreamYard deleted it. All right.
Come on, man. The guy broadcasting his show in the middle of a tornado over there.
I'm just messing
All
with
right, you got it, Ron.
When in doubt, Robbie, you always blame StreamYard.
you. That's what I do in my shop with Diamond.
Attaboy.
I'm like, oh,
I
it's
wonder if
Diamond.
that's like in the experience employee handbook.
I got you, Ron.
StreamYard. That's great.
All right, so
Ron,
yeah,
that's a really
StreamYard.
nice cover. I was looking at that before we went on the air. That's a very cool cover. Spider-Boy. I think Nick is right. I think this almost has Ditko energy, or is it just me?
Yeah, I think it is a Ditko homage.
Because
I love
it's sort of
the background with the lights. It makes me think of Barry Windsor Smith, right? Like some of the mechanical computer stuff that he would do in the backgrounds and stuff. That's the
I
background.
read that there's an artist called Mondrian that sort of inspired that kind of multicolor tiling, or whatever the technical term is they use. Apparently there was an an artist called, his name is Mondrian, and that was what he did. Like, in clothing and different things or whatever. And I guess the artists of the age just really dug what he did, and they would try to incorporate it where they could.
All right, so before we got to go to break, let's do a quick Rexcap. All right, so as usual, we started with the Dynamite 10-pack reader set.
Really like that Spider-Boy background, man.
Cover price of $3.99 or higher, and as always, we have it for $5 for the whole 10-pack, the whole 10 issues. 50 cents a copy. You really can't go wrong. Then we had Infinity number 1, Midtown Comics exclusive, signed by Jonathan Hickman. A tough signature to get. We have the one available for $39.99. Then we did Scarlet Spider number 1, first printing silver signature series, signed by Ryan Stegman. Suggested retail of $69.99, and we have the one available for $40.
Man, the perspective on this too, it's almost like a 3D type effect.
Yes, I did, Jay, on the Invincible Iron Man.
Iron Man and Dr. Doom, right?
Yeah, unless there was another one that I missed. No, I didn't miss it. Okay, cool. All right, so then we did Amazing Spider-Man number 795, third printing, signed in silver by Christo Gage. Number 10 of only 15 signed. Suggested retail of $69.99. We have the one available for $50. Then we had Guardians of the Galaxy number 1, Scotty Young variant, signed by artist Justin Ponsor, taken from us, the comic book community, way too early. It's number 4 of only 25 signed. We have the one available for $19.68. Then we did Spider-Man number 1, Elite Gold Signature Series, signed by Joshua Williamson. Suggested retail of $89.99. And it is a best offer item starting at $38. It is number 10 of only 85, and we have the one available.
God, why do you deny me?
Uncanny X-Men number 522, 1 in 25 ratio incentive variant, signed by Wills Portacio. Suggested retail, we have the one available, number 6 of 16, for $69.99. Then we did Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures number 1, Dynamic Forces exclusive cover by Ken Hazer, signed with a turtle remark by Ken Hazer. It is a true remark. Suggested retail of $89.99, and we have the one available for $40.
I think it's funny, both Robbie and I thought it was the cape. I was positive it was the cape when I looked at that. I'm like, did he color those in? Did he I totally missed the turtle in the moon.
So then we have Guardians of the Galaxy number 1, signed with Adam Warlock cover sketch by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $99.99, and we have the one available for $66. Then we have finally Amazing Spider-Man number 789 signed with Spider-Boy cover sketch by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza as a kind of Ditko homage.
Yeah, it's just really kind of neat to see like a modern character like this homage to such a, you know what I mean? Ditko is 65 years ago? 60 years ago?
Yeah. And then with that pose and that background, it's like he's in some kind of European discotheque or something, like putting the
it's a very, man, that is wild. That is bizarre.
Suggested retail of $109.99. And we have the one available for $79.99. And that is the Rex Cap. Perfect timing. We're going to take our next break, and we'll be back in a couple minutes.
What if Hans Gruber from Die Hard had to battle the Joker from Batman the Animated Series in a dance battle? Or who would win in a race between Baby from Baby Driver and Snidely Whiplash? If Austin Powers and Shrek found themselves in a hot dog eating contest, who would emerge victorious? These are the questions we talk about on Nerd Killer Warfare. Debate the most absurd questions you've ever heard in popular culture. Register now by scanning the QR code or visiting bit.ly/EXP casting. You know how when you go to Comic-Con, after Comic-Con, you go to the hotel bar, and there's a whole bunch of people playing music and dancing, and you've got Pikachu and Lara Croft Tomb Raider doing the cha-cha slide just down from Deadpool and Batman and Wonder Woman? That's every Saturday night over on the Experience Twitch channel. Join Taji Beats for the EXP Dance Party, exclusively on Twitch, twitch.tv/the_EXP.
To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise of adventure, a promise of excitement, a promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds. A promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey. And behind every page, there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop today. Visit comicshoplocator.com today.
Why was Princess Zelda sad after watching a bunch of YouTube videos? She couldn't find a link in the description. We'll stop if you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's super easy. Click subscribe and click the bell when you do. And thanks for supporting the EXP.
You're watching The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales, streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
Hey, we're back.
We are back.
All right, Lyle. Let me see.
We're
Let me
here,
just make sure.
Robbie.
Okay, so you are claiming the Hazer remark. Gotcha, Lyle. All right, I got you, buddy.
Great pickup.
This one, the Spider-Boy one?
Wait, Spider-Boy or no? The Batman TMNT.
Yeah, Batman TMNT.
Okay, cool. Got it. Gotcha, Lyle. You're good. All right, so
I think someone's going to pick up the Spider-Boy one, and they're gonna be glad they did.
I'm watching you, John. We keep a tight inventory here. Now we really. Some days I don't know what we're doing.
Inventory. Remember that stack of comics and
Yeah,
slabs you used to have under your desk? No, you don't, dude.
That's in warehouse cold now.
Where did you get all those great slabs? Just a Rex's desk when we went to the bathroom. You not paying attention?
You ain't that fast. I've seen you move. All right. So, hey, let's talk about Guardians of the
Yeah,
Galaxy.
we'll take a minute to talk about this. We've got the giveaway for it.
We do, yes. So it's hashtag Gamora, all lowercase. If you haven't entered, you only need to put it in once, okay? It won't help you to put it in multiple times.
How many times have you seen it, John?
Yeah, Rob, you saw it over the weekend, right?
Yeah, I was asking John how many times has he seen it?
Oh, maybe that one. No,
I think we used that one already before. I saw it today at 2:30 before I came here, and that was watch number 5. I've seen it pretty much each day since Thursday
I
afternoon.
wish I could start drinking at 2:30 too.
No, I didn't start drinking until 4:45 or whatever.
Oh, that's a lot
because
better.
I went to see. I was busy in the morning, and then I went to see Guardians of the Galaxy. I think it was a 2:20 or 2:30 show, and then I had about an hour or so to kill before I had to be here. So I went over and talked to my friend at Yard House. Yeah, this is the best thing for me. There's literally, it's a chain, but Yard House has good beer and good food, and they're within stumbling distance of the movie theater. So
it literally is.
Well, it's funny because my friend hasn't been there in a while. She looked at me. She's like, "Did you just come out of the movie theater?" I said, "I did."
So Darth didn't like their portrayal of Adam Warlock. Hey, what's going on,
Yeah,
man?
I got a feeling Robbie
Mike,
mentioned this. I bet there's a lot of people that didn't like their portrayal.
Yeah, I don't really want to spoil anything, but Warlock is played mostly for jokes, I would say, but he's also still incredibly powerful. And I get what's being said about Warlock, but if you go back and look at some of the earliest stuff, like the Cocoon issue of Fantastic Four, then there's like a Thor issue or whatever. But that whole bit where he winds up serving the High Evolutionary, and he's still very young. He doesn't know anything. And so there is a brief moment where Warlock is kind of like, there's nothing, like, I think it's more faithful than people are letting into, but I think people are expecting the full on Adam Warlock that we got, like Infinity Gauntlet. And the other thing I would say is, since we've already done the Infinity War, what do you expect? You know what I'm saying? Warlock's not going to be tied into that, so it's going to be a little bit different. But I liked Warlock in the film. In fact, I loved the film. I loved it so much. I love all 3 of these movies. 3.5 if you include the holiday special. Guardians has never let me down. I thought it was a perfect conclusion to James Gunn's saga with these characters. The characters were amazing. The performances were amazing. The High Evolutionary. I am so happy that we got a Marvel villain who's just evil. There's no reason. There's no like sympathetic backstory. He's just evil, and you want him to get taken out. And that is
he's a bad dude. Awesome. They kind of almost tried to mitigate Kang a little bit in Quantumania. There's a good Kang, there's a bad Kang. Okay, fine. There's a good Kang somewhere. That wasn't what you showed me in Quantumania. My favorite part of Quantumania wasn't even Ant-Man. My favorite part of Quantumania was, after 2 hours, I've had just about enough of Kang in his story. And Michael Douglas shows up with Xant's. And the way he walks with the ants when they finally attack Kang is everyone in the movie who's had enough of Kang. He just comes walking along like, you know what, we got to wrap this up. I'm done. I'm done with your force field. I'm done with your story. I'm just done. And he comes, I think by now most people have probably seen the movie. He's got a bunch of like evolved ants with technology, and they just jump Kang.
Hey, what's going on? Dwayne's a pain in the house.
That guy is an amazing actor.
TJ, what's going on, buddy? Darth is also in the house. I know he didn't like the way they portrayed Adam Warlock.
I noticed this a little bit, both in the comics and in the MCU. Mm-hmm. People with I-beam Superman-esque type powers usually get clowned a little bit. Whether it's Hyperion in the comic, or you had Icarus in Eternals, and now Adam Warlock. There's something about that Superman-esque combo of flight, super strength, super speed, and I-beams where, because it's so not Marvel, they tend to poke fun at that a little bit. Gladiator. I'm sorry. I know Gladiator, the way they do these things, in an actual situation, Gladiator kills the X-Men in like 3 pages. Stop pretending. I get it. You guys are clowning on Superman. It's good-natured. It's not. But the power levels don't level out. And trust me when I tell you, it just, every time we have these discussions, I always have to tell people, come back to Earth. The difference in between the power level, Marvel is trying to root stuff in reality. DC isn't. They're happy. They're fine for Superman to move a planet without destroying it or anything like that. In Marvel, we can't do that. That's physics. That's craziness. DC's like, we don't care. He's got a red cape. He can do whatever he wants. So there's night and day there. So there is no reality where characters at that power level should be clowned, other than it's an inside editorial joke. Knowing that, I didn't have the highest expectations for Adam Warlock. And the actor did a great job. The special effects were great. The portrayal was a choice I guess James Gunn made. It's not an outrageous choice. Like you said, there's precedent for it in the comics. Warlock fans, if you're upset, I totally understand. I get it.
But the thing is, there's room to grow. The way that James Gunn left Warlock in this movie, somebody can come in and do something with that. You know what I'm saying? And take him on the road to get him closer to what people were expecting. But I think what people are mostly expecting is the Warlock after he's like come into his own. He knows things. He's powerful, but that's not the Warlock you're getting. You're getting like year one. You know what I'm saying? It's like
you wanted like the one who knows type of, you know what I mean? It's the same with Star-Lord. Starhawk. There aren't a ton of Starhawk fans in Guardians of the Galaxy. The one you're looking for, you were never going to get.
All right, so Amy is standing there.
I'm just listening.
I know you want to say something.
I'm just
go
listening
for
to
it.
correct you.
Hey, did you bring food for Amy at the movie theater?
I
told her to call you.
I mean, me and John need our own time to really get into more details. But I'm happy people are seeing it. I'm happy people are really enjoying it. And criticisms like that with what they did with Adam Warlock, totally valid. That's fine.
Oh yeah, I get it. Like I said, I've been through that before, where I've seen everyone's had their favorite character represented.
With how the villain was, I liked the villain a lot. I know people are comparing him to what was done in Ant-Man Quantumania. I mean, Kang was still my favorite part of that movie. I still say that.
Oh, the actor did a great job. To make me that angry at seeing him on the screen after 2 hours, you've done a great job. Because normally I watch these things and I don't get that engaged. After 2 hours, when I saw his face, I'm like, you've got to finish this guy. You know what I mean? The actor makes me like the character so much.
Didn't they completely nail the Rocket origin and actually make it better than the comics? Like the Rocket origin stuff was amazing.
Everything with Rocket, and then one of my favorite
That
things
was very emotional stuff.
One of my favorite things about this movie is that you look back at the other Guardians movies and they're better. I think.
Yeah, and it recontextualizes everything.
And all the characters, everything just makes sense. It's all cohesive. Everything.
And that's what James Gunn kind of promised, right? Leading up to this, he promised that, this is my last movie, but I'm going out the right way. He's wrapping up the story at the end, and like the mid-credit scene, you sort of even get a peek of here's the end of the story, and here's where the next story begins. And like Robbie said, somebody could step in. It's not going to be James Gunn. Let's be honest. I know people. It's not going to be James Gunn anytime soon. I'll put it that way, right?
No, we need him to fix DC.
Someone will step in and look at what he's done and realize there's a lot of here. You know what I mean? Drax is amazing. The portrayals here were really all very spot on. The way, and I joke around a lot about Chris Pratt, kind of being like the luckiest guy in the world. The way he started his portrayal as Star-Lord and ended his portrayal is just a great story.
Oh, yeah.
In the beginning, he's a goof. He's a goof. And by the
he's
end,
almost he's a different person in this movie.
Yeah, he's
been through so much.
You factor in like Infinity War and all these other things.
And like how his story ended, like if you really think about it, it does make sense.
Yeah. The end credits
brought it up
kind of
before, like it makes sense.
Hey, Darth, you've never seen Amy angry, so
the
I don't
eyes
know
were dotted.
I'm not cruel to animals. There you go.
No, I'm talking about High Evolutionary. They made the comparison. That was a spoiler.
Oh no.
Rex, same answer.
That makes it a spoiler.
No, it doesn't.
Sure, it does. For those of us who haven't watched the movie. There was a reference from beautiful animal scenes.
Yeah, but we should do
I
this show a year
evolutionary
from now and you won't have seen this movie.
Not
yet.
me, but what about the other viewers? You know, my
They
memory.
see the trailer, they get it.
Yeah, if you've seen the trailer, everybody gets it.
That's right, Darth. You don't. But you would be cool
Nebula's
animals.
also awesome in this movie. A lot of
I don't know.
Yes. There's like a whole sort of. They do all these great. Oh God, who voiced Lila? I'm trying to think of who voiced
Linda
Lila.
Carlini.
Yeah, Linda Carlini, the actress who plays Hawkeye's wife.
Oh yeah, she also played Scooby Doo. She was
Velma. Yeah.
Wilma. That's right, not that.
Yeah,
and
she's done a lot of cool stuff.
You know, I saw right before the movie dropped, there was all this hoopla about how it had the first F-bomb in a Marvel movie. And
The first uncensored one, at least.
yeah,
Right,
and
that
I'll
was,
tell you what, it was so perfectly
Charles,
timed.
right? He said it.
Their F-bomb was so perfectly timed. It cracked me
Yes.
up. It was so great.
I mean, I of course people are going to say they don't like something because that's just the way people are, right? If 50 people say red, 50 people will say blue. That's just the way it is in the world. I don't know if you pay your money and you go to see this movie. Robbie mentioned this maybe a week or 2 Mondays ago. Guardians is part of the Marvel universe that can be picked right up and out of there, and you don't really need to see any of the other stuff, right? Yeah, sure, he's really cool in Infinity War and all that other stuff. There's that scene in Endgame where you're like so glad to see the Guardians and everybody shows up. But if you don't see that stuff, you just catch the little clips on YouTube or whatever, the entire Guardian saga you get. Would I strongly recommend seeing the Christmas special? Yes. The Christmas special is great. But, you know what I mean? It's sort of self-contained.
Right.
And I'm kind of wondering moving forward if we'll get something else like that, maybe like the X-Men. Will almost be in a nature of, if you watch the MCU, you know what this is. Because they've really said that integrating the X-Men is going to be hard. Like, where do they fit in?
Mm-hmm.
When do you show these characters?
And again, take your time. I don't want them to force something.
Yeah, but I mean, you've got to wonder, was Wolverine just sitting in a bar during Endgame? Like, everybody showed up but him? That doesn't seem... A fight of that magnitude, it makes no sense.
It might be a different universe name. If they're going with the multiverse,
I was going to say,
living in their own universe.
That makes more sense.
They just don't
You already got the perfect explanation.
X-Men, and then something happens like, oh,
Hey,
who
Jenna,
are
what's
they?
going on?
You got the
Hopefully
perfect
you have
explanation
power.
already. They
What's
were
that?
there during Endgame. They were there during the Battle of New York. Professor Xavier mind wipes everybody, so no one knows who the X-Men are.
Okay. You know what? That would be fine. I don't know how
That'd be
well that
so
would...
weird if that's the reveal. It's like, no, we work here.
Well, let's be honest. We had Doctor Strange do the whole thing with, he's not Peter Parker. What are you talking about?
It's like people know like Spider-Man exists. They just don't remember who he is.
Well, the article that's floating around quite a bit now is that the whole Peter Parker Spider-Man character, that place in the Marvel Universe, is going to be replaced by Kamala Khan. They don't want to have to keep dealing with Sony and their nonsense and their insistence on clinging onto a character and blah, blah, blah. They're going to lift Spider-Man right up and out of the MCU so that this way they don't have to be under the thumb. Like, I love Tom Holland. Some of the other portrayals of Spider-Man didn't really connect with me. I thought Tom Holland was Spider-Man. I love Tom Holland. But if Sony is going to be a constant drain on time, attention, and resources for the MCU, as much as I like Spider-Man in the movies, I'm fine to have him go.
I don't know though. I mean, that the Spider-Man character in the movies is a key pivot point, I think. But all right, so go ahead.
I'm doing something like, I get what you're saying with where they put the F-bomb up. Like, it was just how they put the movie was so unexpected. That's why it's funny.
Yeah. This movie got a lot more right than wrong.
Right.
And I'm sure people will have different contrary opinions or whatever. And like I said, I get it. I've been there where I've seen characters in movies and TV shows and animated series, and they weren't portrayed the way I wanted them to be portrayed. So I get that. And I can see where Warlock fans have just got two middle fingers up as they walk out of the theater. I get it. Overall, they checked all the boxes. They gave everyone what they wanted. They gave you a beginning, middle, end of the story. They played in the Marvel Universe. They play well. apart from the Marvel universe.
Right.
They've even got a Christmas special. They sold cute toys and T-shirts. As far as I'm concerned, Guardians kind of did everything they were.
What's
asked.
kind of funny is the ancillary benefit DC is going to get a good push with the success of the end of the trilogy of Guardians.
Yeah.
Because if people like it, they're going to feel more optimistic about what Gunn is doing with DC.
I think so.
I don't think that Marvel necessarily wanted that to happen, but it's inevitable.
And I think one of the best things about the Guardians movies is the camaraderie and the chemistry between the cast and the crew, right?
Yes.
And so knowing
agree.
that James Gunn is at the helm of that, he's going to bring that energy to DC. And that's going to come across more than like story points or the way characters are done. Like that chemistry between that cast made these movies soar further than they ever should have. They're amazing.
Well, you've got these contrasting story arcs, right? First movie, Star-Lord's kind of a goofy dude, right? And that fit Chris Pratt, what he was doing at the time, right? Let's be honest. And you have Nebula, who starts in a dark place and even maybe to a certain extent goes to a darker place, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then at the end of the movie, you have Peter Quill, I guess maybe a little bit worse for the wear. You know what I mean? He's sort of, the Gamora thing is gone, the Guardians are gone. But Nebula, on the other hand, is on this great sort of upward trajectory in art.
Right.
So you kind of have them going in opposite directions, right? And to do that almost simultaneously across the movies, little by little, you like Nebula. You can't not like Nebula. To the point where, and they've showed it in the previews, where they're in the turbo lift.
Right.
And you can't, even though you know what's coming because you've seen it, you can't help but laugh. You literally can't help but laugh. When somebody mentioned Doom Patrol, we've had Doom Patrol previously. I think some of it worked and some of it didn't. It's hard to not like Brandon Fraser, but overall, I don't know if Doom Patrol is as successful as it could have been. I really don't know what Gunn. I mean, ideally, he builds his universe around Peacemaker and Eagly, but I don't think we're getting that.
All right, so we have some back issue keys that we're going to get to.
Sweet.
All right, these are price to move. All right, so let's do that. Okay, yeah, let's do that now. All right, so we have Amazing Spider-Man number 422 from 1997, Electro appearance, and let's see, run ends with 441. Okay, so, and we have the one available. Give Jay a second. Or 10 seconds.
Metal Men is absolutely something I would like to
Jay,
see.
are you still there, buddy?
Do.
There we go. See, this, I'm never sure if Jay's just like lost power.
He probably fell asleep because it's so dull. We're just talking about comics.
I bet StreamYard deleted the files again. That's what happened.
Damn that StreamYard. All right, so we have this available for $4, people.
Oh, wow. Wait, who signed this?
Nobody signed it. It's back issue keys.
Oh, I'm sorry. That looked like a signature. My bad. It's actually cables from the machine.
All right, so that is available for $4.
It's got that Wes Craven shocker cover, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say,
Okay, Austin Kyle. All right, buddy, you got it. Hey, Austin. All right, very important. If Jay could throw up the link, need you to fill out the submission form. That will give us your real name, unless it is actually Austin Kyle, and also your ship to address, and we will invoice you the very next day. All right, so just make sure to fill out the submission form. That would be awesome. But great claim, Austin. So then we have Spectacular Spider-Man number 191 from 1992, Black Suit Costume, Sal Buscema cover, and Puma appearance. And we have the one available for $6. I'm telling you, these are priced to sell, folks. Okay, Austin. Sorry, buddy. It just Kyle was all in caps, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, this is an opportunity to kind of.
All right, you got it, Austin.
This is the opportunity to kind of fill in some of these gaps or maybe upgrade. a lot of times people have keys and maybe they just threw them in a pile because they didn't know, a lot of foresight there. You don't know if something's going to be a key. You open it up, you see a character. Oh, who's going to care about this character? Legion. You chuck the book away. Then, of course, it turns out, he's got his own show.
Movie.
Books. Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have Doctor Doom #1 from 2019. First self-titled solo series. Christopher Cantwell is the writer. ACO cover. And we have the one available for $10. All right. And then we have Cage #1 and #2. This is a dual book set. All right, Darth, you got it. So Darth, our buddy Darth, Gojira Comics. All right. So Darth, same thing. I'm guessing Darth is not your real name. Need your thoughts submission form. Otherwise, you will see Amy get nastier than the High Evolutionary. I'm not even playing people. All right. So we have Cage #1 and 2 from 1992, and $5 for both books.
These books were so big. These books were so big when I was a kid, man. Everybody was loving Cage. This was the first time I ever even knew who Luke Cage was. They redesigned him to be like, people call him the Mike Tyson Cage, but this series was fun. It was very fun.
Dude, it's pretty close to the cover price from 1992.
Well, this launched the kind of Luke Cage that we see now, right? I mean, Luke Cage was very much a character of the era when he was brought about in the 70s, right? By the time you get about to the 90s, his character doesn't, literally his character doesn't fit, right? His character doesn't fit at all. They do this sort of relaunch of the character. 30 years later, there are people who barely even remember what is derisively called the Sweet Christmas era, right? I mean, people know him now as Jessica Jones' husband, Danielle Cage's father. If you kind of read some of those future Marvel Ultraverse type stuff.
He's the mayor of New York now in the current continuity, which is cool.
Mayor of New York. This is a character that went from kind of okay.
If you look, they took his tiara and they made it like a big belt.
Like a belt, yeah.
He's got to be careful sitting down. I'm just going to say that, okay? The way that's designed, he's got to be careful sitting down. That's all I'm going to say.
And even though this book had its problems, one of the coolest portrayals of Luke Cage, and this is a little bit of a, like a minor footnote, is in, I guess it was last year, they did like a Submariner book.
Right.
And I don't think it had a lot of issues to it, but it was essentially like 100 years in the future. The Earth is sort of, I don't know if it was, I think they said like the Kree, accelerated global warming. The whole planet's covered with water, right? And there's like these tiny, tiny little pockets of humanity left. And pretty much, it's great for Atlantis. If you're blue and have gills,
Tom Bishop, what's up,
you've
buddy?
got the planet to yourself. And there's this small little community of humans. And essentially it's Luke Cage is their leader. Steve Rogers is one of their leaders. And his sort of road trip with Namor is a very cool, you know what I mean? It's just good stuff. And I don't, you know what I mean? I think that's a character that I really liked. The actor, I think his name is Mike Coulter. I really liked him as Luke Cage.
Yeah.
For whatever reason or reasons, it didn't work out. Netflix.
That first half of that Luke Cage series is really good. In fact, that Luke Cage series is amazing until they kill Cottonmouth, and then it just kind of loses some steam for me. But and just to answer Stevie there, yes, this is the Dwayne Turner stuff that we're showing.
Yeah, I collected. Yeah, they talked about the everything was right about that book.
Right.
A lot of people have said that Cage series was like the milestoning of Marvel. And I think, I can't remember who said that, but I think that's very apropos. Because if you're from that era and you read Milestone, that was very much a similar type of energy that they were putting into Cage. Not quite as successfully, but...
It's a certain era of Marvel, too. And it's like, nowadays we're so used to the number ones all the time, right?
Yeah.
But back then you didn't get these, right? And so they did Spider-Man number 1, sold a lot of money, like sold a lot of copies. X-Force number 1, X-Men number 1. They're like, man, let's keep this going. Cage number 1. Didn't hit those numbers, but still, this was a big book back in those days, like big book. And you didn't have, in Marvel, there wasn't like a black superhero who had his own title, and it was something that was much needed. And I remember being a kid, a kid growing up who was into hip hop and into black culture, and just loving the fact that Cage was there, and his attitude and just everything about it. I just loved. I ate it up when I was a kid.
Everybody under 35 can't imagine a Marvel world not dominated by the Black Panther. Right? Because right around I don't know the exact date, but they decided to turn the Black Panther into a much cooler Batman.
Right.
Whatever Batman's good at, the Black Panther's better. Even his tech and gadgets are better. You can have your Batmobile all you want, man. I got like 23rd, 24th century technology at my house.
Hey, Geek Mark Station, buddy. Thanks for joining us.
But there was an era before that where black characters were just not given the due. And Cage was the first one of those characters. And shortly after this, they kind of repackaged the Falcon. And the success of that repackaging the Falcon, and then the Ultimates Universe version of the Falcon in like 2000, 2001, is why you got the very cool Falcon that we got now, Anthony Mackie, and that led into the whole Sam Wilson Captain America thing. People under 35 can't really wrap their heads around how big a culture shift that was.
Right.
You know what I mean? It just wasn't, it wasn't there. I mean, there's no way to put it. It's unforgivable, but it just wasn't there. And
all right, so hold that thought. We got to take our last and final break, and we'll be back in a couple minutes.
Did you know that across America there are over 2, maybe even 3 live stream producers who can't even afford Mountain Dew? Take Brian here. Brian has gone 2 weeks without a sip of Red Bull. If it goes on much longer, he may take a shower and get a real job. Situations like this are as tragic as they are preventable. Join the experience on YouTube and gain access to special emojis and members-only streams. For less than a cup of coffee, you can keep socially awkward hermit people working from their parents' basements where they belong. Scan the QR code on the screen to join. You'll be glad you did. Imagine being at a convention and going to an interview panel that's just for you. No bustling crowds, no hours-long lines, just you, the moderator, and your favorite comic book creators. Well, this is pretty much that. Miss Jen sits down every week with 2 comic book creators for a live stream interview about their latest work, and you can ask them whatever you want. It's Talking Shop, Mondays at 5 Eastern on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
Go follow The Experience on TikTok at @the_EXP1 or scan the QR code on the screen. Our TikTok is like everywhere else we are, except you only have to deal with us for a minute. Seems like a win-win to me.
All right, and we are back. All right, so let's do the last of the key back issues.
Real quick, I just want to say something. I see Stevie mentioned, a couple other people mentioned it. When people ask what's new or what's next or what's up with the MCU, right? I think, and unexplored, untapped resource. Of course, there's the X-Men. I'm not sure how they're going to work that out.
It's
whatever.
John Cole. No, I'm kidding.
Obviously, but I think is the kind of mystic part of that beyond just Doctor Strange, right? Brother Voodoo, Werewolf by Night. There's a bunch of characters, and I'm going to throw this character in there, even though his movie is terrible, and I know he's a Sony thing or whatever. They might not want to deal with it, but Morbius. These are part of like Marvel's kind of, Justice League Dark Side. And I think with the right director, you could probably get a very cool, Marvel Knights-ish type movie. I mean, we've had a bunch of open-end stuff in the MCU, right? Look at how a lot of the movies ended. We got Doctor Strange running off, like the Lovecraftian Doctor Strange running off with Clea at the end of that. We've got a bunch of stuff. The way Werewolf by Night ended, we've got Man-Thing. There are the pieces there. Obviously, someone zillion times more talented than me, but there's enough there to pick up those pieces and do something. Whether it's maybe a series of specials for Halloween or whatever.
Right. All right. So, Darth, I would agree. We do need Marvel monsters. All right. Let me get through the back issue keys here. So we have Marvel Team Up number 100 from 1980. Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four. It is the newsstand version. First appearance and origin of Karma, and Frank Miller cover and art. And we've got the one available for $10.
I have this in my collection because it's a rarity to get Frank Miller doing Fantastic Four. And so I snatched this up as soon as I came there.
I told you these were pricey.
Yeah, this is something. Is something you just don't.
Austin, I'm assuming you're talking about the Marvel Team Up, Spider-Man and FF. So I got you down, buddy.
Yeah, Marvel has a history. One of my favorite things, and I'll get into this, and I won't come out of this deep dive for months. Marvel has a string of horror comics. Sometimes there's only 6 or 7 issues, but this is dating back to like the late 60s and early 70s.
Right.
Legion of Night, Monster Legion, or whatever. There's enough there in the MCU. If they're looking for something new, if they're looking to give the Avengers a break, the Avengers storyline a break, if they're looking to sort of, I think that's very much something they could go into. They published Legion of Monsters in the 90s, I think, or maybe early 2000s. They took a run at this. They have characters here and there, right? Like, so to say, Damien Hellstrom, they spell it both ways. That was terrible on Hulu. There's no explanation for it. It was terrible. It was just terrible. Just completely pretend that didn't happen, recast and move on.
All right, going back to a previous conversation you were commenting on, we have Falcon Limited Series number 1 through 4 from 1983. The first solo title Falcon series.
Yeah.
And we have the one set available for $15. I don't think we can get any cheaper than this, folks.
That era of miniseries, limited series that Marvel had, like 81 through 86 or 87, this was a way to go when you just didn't want to do, Robbie's talked about it, Alec has talked about it. There's just new endless series starting and stopping. They're up to volume 13 or 14 in some books. These limited series were a great way to sort of put up balloons, see what flies, right?
They did some great ones too. They did the Rocket Raccoon with Mike Mignola artwork. They did Kitty Pryde and Wolverine with the Al Milgrom stuff, which I loved, and Machine Man with Barry Windsor Smith, right? So that's
I mean, there's really good stuff back there. I mean, this is, at $15, this is really sort of like a,
All right, so then we have Batgirl, Volume 4, New 52, number 17, 18, and 19 from 2013. So you're getting all 3, and you're getting all 3 for $5. Seriously, we can't make it any cheaper than this. All right. And then finally, hold up. All right. So finally, we have Spawn Universe number 1 from 2021, McFarlane cover. It's the McFarlane variant cover, and we have the one available for $8.
Thomas, are you
So,
claiming those back row books?
Tom,
Sure.
is that a claim or what, buddy? Let us know.
I think the problem with people saying they want to see a Gene Cologne Dracula movie, I would love to see.
Okay, got you, Tom Bishop.
First and foremost, I'd love to see that. Second of all, I think the Gene Cologne Dracula is too close to Hammer Studios Dracula that they did with Christopher Lee.
Right.
There's a lot of similarities there. Cologne has said in the past he was more influenced by Hammer Studios than the Universal Studios version of Dracula. There's sort of, I don't know if they would get the juice they want from that squeeze. What I think would absolutely work for a lot of these characters we're mentioning, and is more modern and current than Marvel, is Strange Academy.
All right. Hey, John, welcome back, buddy.
I think a Strange Academy series with some of these characters as instructors, guest lecturers, people passing through, set in New Orleans. I think there's absolutely a market for that.
Strange Academy could make a great animated series.
Yeah.
All right, so now we have some great CGCs, key issues, bronze. All right, so we're going to go through that. We're going to do a Rex cap, and then we got to get to the giveaway. If you just joined us, the giveaway tonight is the Gamora action figure from Loot Crate. So that is our giveaway. All you have to do is put hashtag Gamora one time in the chat, and you'll be automatically entered for the drawing. All right? All right, so here we go with the CGCs. Amazing Spider-Man number 192. It is a CGC 9.4 with white pages, and we have the one available for $83. Nice. Just think, by the time you send it out, get a package, pay for the grading fee, more if you want to expedite it, and you're still waiting a long time to get it back, all right, you're probably not going to get, and you don't know what you're going to get, what grade you're going to get. All right, so these next two are kind of interesting. So you got Spider-Man number 4, 9.8 CGC, and you can see it's the old tag. All right, white pages. This one is signed by Todd McFarlane, listed as qualified. Okay, now there is a certificate that comes with it attesting to the McFarlane, but it's not from Dynamic Forces. All right, so this is obviously the age before CGC started their signature series.
What a time for Lars Man to miss.
I know.
I feel bad, man. Lars Man, if you're watching this, I apologize if you're watching the playback, man.
So this is Spider-Man number 4, 9.8, white pages, signed by Todd McFarlane, and it's listed as qualified, and we have the one available for $61. Then
I think it would be under 100.
Well, wait a minute. Then we have Spider-Man number 5, 9.8 CGC graded, white pages, also signed by Todd McFarlane. And you can see the old label. The F in green label. You got it, bro. All right, so Spider-Man number 5, 9.8, white pages, signed by McFarlane. We've got the one for $70. Yeah, there you go, Preston.
Those are really dope because it's not often we see McFarlane's signatures here on this show.
No, and you can see it in the upper right-hand corner if anybody's looking. All right.
Maybe somebody wants to pick up both of these and see if there's a deal to be made.
No, John. I'm not doing it for you.
I'm just saying.
You don't come in here with no brown paper bag and expect me to cut a deal, man. Ain't going to happen.
Dude,
Wednesday's another day.
If I feed you anymore, I got to declare you on my taxes.
Go ahead. I have no problem with that. All right. Next up, we have X-Men number 137. 9.4 CGC graded, white pages, and we have the one for $115.
Man, this takes me back to like middle school and everybody clutching this
Stop
comic.
it. You are so much older than that. Stop it.
No, this is 1980.
Would have been 81.
81, yeah. I'm in middle school.
No, you're not. You liar. How could you be in middle school? I was in high school.
You're old.
Not old than you.
Are you sure? That's not what your grandson writes.
You know what I would like to see? and maybe this is an idea I shouldn't share because it's a good idea for me on my channel, but I would love to like have somebody actually do the research and find out like who won this $2,500 thing, who won that Toys R Us toy shop.
That's a good one.
That is
That
a
is
good
a
one,
good
isn't
one,
it? That
actually.
one is great.
Who won the Silver Surfer jet ski? Like I want to know. You know what I'm saying? It's
Oh,
kind of
that's another good one, man. Is that sitting somewhere?
yeah. Like
know.
where is it? It should be in a museum. Is where it should be.
You know what? That would be kind of a cool show. Like I know, like the WWE has a TV show where all the stuff from their past, all the props or whatever, they go and they find it. And sometimes it's in warehouses, sometimes it's in people's houses. They found something in a restaurant, right, that was just sitting there. And I think that would be cool if Marvel did a show like that where you'd find out, hey, what happened to this stuff? Because how much stuff did Marvel give away over the years, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. That actually is a very good idea.
That's a great idea.
All
When
right.
Robbie signs his deal with A&E, I hope he remembers us.
Yeah.
All right.
And
So then we have,
I will find that Silver Surfer jet ski. I will
Look
find.
at DJ's got it. Who won the bike?
Lyle, nobody won the sea monkeys. You bought them. And all the sea monkeys were brine shrimp. I bought it. And didn't even recognize that fact until I had a marine aquarium years later going, and I bought brine. Somebody said, oh, you should raise the brine and then feed them to your marine fish. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, damn, they're sea monkeys. That's when I made the connection.
The first time I would go to like a seafood market, like a hardcore seafood market, every time I'd walk past the brine shrimp thing, I'd
Sea monkeys.
see monkeys.
Wear the clothes and the crowns. All right. Next up, X-Men number 140, CGC 9.6. And we have this one, white pages, for 108.
When to go?
Who got? And weird, none of them work, bro.
And yeah, you know what? I actually don't think Nick is eating. Because Nick has been running around here. He's been like pretty busy, him and Amy running around doing stuff or whatever. I don't know if he actually stopped to have his plankton sandwich or whatever it is.
Plankton sandwich.
All
All right.
Nick to bust into the room and be like, I won the Silver Surfer jet ski. Do you want it on Friday's show? Let's do it. Let's put it in there.
Lyle, I actually bought that 698 submarine. I was one of
Sank
the
like a
kids that
rock. Sank like a rock.
No, what happened was
That's
I
the
saw
one that's
it-
like, it was just cardboard with like a control panel, right? Or something like
Yeah, it
that.
was cardboard with some stickers and stuff like that. And of course, my dad was so angry that basically I swindled him out of 698 for this thing that we had like a weekend project where he built me one out of like much stronger and sturdier cardboard in our shed. And this thing was actually big enough for him and I to get into it. And, you know, all the Christmas lights.
That
in
is
there.
a pretty cool dad. All right.
That way, yeah, he was just good. He's like, this is it? Like, it comes. And it was in a flat box. And it was like cardboard pieces, slot A, tab B, and it was trash. It was absolute trash.
All right. So then we have X-Men number 143, 9.6, off white to white pages. And we have the one available for $70.
Great Christmas issue. Good Christmas decoration to hang up in December.
Very much so. This is when
Flat
Marvel was
comic.
making their bones. This is when Marvel sort of, when you ask in the Marvel DC war when Marvel won or whatever, this is when they make their bones. Yeah, sure, DC was putting out some pretty good books during this time period, but not nearly as many as Marvel. And Marvel had more of, we'll call them Hall of Fame level creators at the time, right? Like during this era, you got Frank Miller on Daredevil. Now Frank Miller is a big deal. This is every month you were getting Frank Miller on a book. You know what I mean? And, you know, John Byrne, people doing these amazing takes on these seven. I hate to say it, but DC blinked. And
I
that's
agree.
how they sort of became Pepsi. Like we had this conversation one time. DC became Pepsi at this time period. When you started getting books like this, you know,
Right.
Kitty Pryde running around with the Brood, with the Brood on Christmas.
Right.
It's
That
why they
was
had to
just-
do. It's why they had to do Crisis, and they had to snipe Byrne over and Frank Miller over. I mean, look what I mean. That's how they turned it around. They're like, okay, let's tank Frank Miller and Byrne. Y'all got Superman and Batman. We're good.
All right.
And that's exactly right. That started the cycle of mega crossovers and other stuff because on a one-on-one basis, Robbie's absolutely right. you would have a Batman book and it would be fine. It would be good. Pick up any Daredevil book during that time period. It's not even close.
All right. So then we have X-Men number 148, 9.6 white pages, and we have the one available for $60.
Oh my God, the International Correspondence School. I remember that.
There we go.
That was funny. It would be like this total loser, and he's with this absolute 10. And I'm like, the premise here worked when I was like 13 or 14. Not now.
All right. So then we have X-Men number 137, 9.4 white pages. Wait a minute.
I think we already did that one.
Yeah, I think we did this one already.
Oh, you know what? We did. It got listed twice. My bad. Sorry. Because I'm pretty sure we only have one available. All right. So never mind. That one is a relist of the last one. Duh. Okay. So let's do the Rex Cap. All right.
DJ,
here we go.
I remember the ads for Hostess Twinkies. I remember the ads for a game called Attack of the Mutants. I remember the ad for.
I never ate Hostess, even though I saw it in the comics, because we live in the land of Tasty Cake. Right.
I remember an ad for a game called, I think it was Gamma World, which was put out by the makers of D&D. It was like their sci-fi world, and they couldn't. D&D had already taken off. People were fantasy gaming, and that was it. And they were trying to push Gamma World. Gamma World was essentially the same game, but it wasn't over. Nobody was interested in that. So they took out these like half-page ads in comics, and still nobody cared. It didn't work.
All right, let's do the Rex Cap. All right, so as always, we have the Dynamite 10-pack reader set, 10 random Dynamite titles with a cover price of $3.99 or higher, so a $40 or higher retail. And we have it, as always, for $5, 50 cents a comic. Then we had Infinity number 1, Midtown Comics exclusive, signed by Jonathan Hickman. We have the one available for $39.99. Tough signature to get. Then we did Scarlet Spider number 1, first printing, silver signature series by Ryan Stegman. Love his autograph. And suggested retail of $69.99, and we have number 46 of only 50 signed, and we have the one available for $40. Then there was a butterscotch. There still is, my friend.
The butterscotch crimpet?
Yeah, the crimpets.
We deep fried butterscotch crimpets at a pop up.
Stop. My cholesterol's starting to rise. So then we have Amazing Spider-Man number 795. Third printing, signed in silver by Christo Gage. It's 10 of only 15 signed, and I have one available for $50. Then we had Guardians of the Galaxy number 1, Scotty Young variant, signed by artist Justin Ponsor, who is no longer with us, unfortunately, taken way too early by cancer.
Yeah.
It is number 4 of only 25. Signed, and we have it for $19.68. So, and then we had Spider-Man number 1, Elite Gold Signature Series, signed by Joshua Williamson. It's just a retail of $89.99. It is a best offer book starting at $38, but we're almost closing up the show, so anybody who makes puts up a claim for $38 will probably get it. So then we had Uncanny X-Men number 522, retailer incentive variant, 1:25 ratio, signed by artist Will Portasio. We have number 6 of only 16 signed, and we have the one for $69.99. Okay, Darth, you got it, buddy. So Darth is claiming Guardians. Scotty Young, got it.
Dawn of DC thing. This one feels a little bit different. I think we talked about this a little bit before. It just feels a little bit different this time. I know DC has had, reboot fever for what seems like the entirety of the 21st century. Right. But this particular Dawn of DC, I don't know if it's the energy that's different, or it seems like they're trying at least to scrape off the last 20 or 25 years of stuff and pare these characters back down to things that are more, that people can kind of connect with a little bit. Superman Lost is a great example of, I think they've done 2 issues so far. It's a great example of a book where they're trying something different with a character you've seen a billion times.
Hey, Jay, did we throw up the Uncanny X-Men number 522? There we go. Okay. So we have this one for $69.99.
Yeah, we talked about this before. There's some really nice Doctor Strangelove energy in there. There's a little bit of Dave Stevens energy in there.
Hey, Jay Nunyon, what's going on, buddy? All right, so then we had Guardians of the Galaxy number 1, signed with Adam Warlock, cover sketch by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $99.99, and we have the one available for $66.
Ken really nailed that sort of Starlin version of Warlock.
So then we had Amazing Spider-Man number 789, signed with Spider-Boy, cover sketch by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza. Suggested retail of $109.99. We have the one available for $79.
There's something about this I just like, and I am not like the biggest Spider-Man fan. I'm not the biggest Spider-Boy fan. There's just something, like I said, this has very much like a retro energy to it. Like you don't see books laid out like this anymore. I just think these guys did a great job.
So then we have some key back issues. Price to sell. Cage number 1 and 2 from 1992. And we have both books for $5. And then we had Falcon Limited Series number 1 through 4 from 1983. And it is the first solo title Falcon series, and all 4 books we have for $15. And then finally we have Spawn Universe number 1 from 2021, McFarlane cover. And we have the one available for $8. All right, then finally what's left is the CGCs. So here we go. Amazing Spider-Man number 192, a 9.4 white pages. We have the one for $83. And then the next 2 are, man, they're steal, I think. Spider-Man number 4, 9.8 white pages.
I'm a little bit surprised at how cheap these are. I really am.
Signed with McFarlane, signed by McFarlane, and listed as qualified. And we have one available for $61. His signature is in the upper right-hand corner. Then we have Spider-Man number 5, 9.8 white pages, signed by McFarlane as well, listed as qualified, and we have the one available for $70. Also in the upper right-hand corner if you look. All right, so then we have, where did I leave off? Okay, X-Men number 137, 9.4 white pages, and we have the one available for $115. Then we have X-Men number 140, 9.6 white pages, and we have the one available for $108. And then we had X-Men number 143, 9.6 off-white to white pages, and we have the one available for $70. And then we had finally X-Men number 148, 9.6 white pages, and we have the one available for $60. All right, so now, we got to do the giveaway.
Do the giveaway.
All right, so the Gamora statue from Loot Crate. All right, so
see Preston claimed Spider-Man number 4.
Oh, wait, Preston. Yes, hold on, Spider-Man number 4.
Yeah, I mean, Todd McFarlane's signatures are just not cheap. There's no 2 ways about that.
I got you, Preston. You got it, buddy. All right, so Preston is claiming that number 4. All right, so we got 3 minutes, so you've got like
that's a good
15 seconds. If you have not put up hashtag Gamora for the prize, you're going to be out of luck.
I'm glad to see someone pick that up because I've seen McFarlane's signatures at shows, and that.
Yeah, I thought it was wrong too. I even double checked. All right, so that's it. I'm Jeff. What's going on, man?
Just in there with Gamora.
All right, here we go. Oh, Steve Vendetta, what's up, man?
Everybody jumping at the last minute.
Right. I'm going to give it, let's say.
Jewish Dragons is in
all
there.
All right, I'm going to turn my timer on. I'm going to give it 30 seconds.
Marcus Gondola. Oh, boy. What are you doing?
Let's see.
He's going to win a gondola.
All right, I'm going to go, let's see. 30 seconds. Here we go. If you haven't gotten hashtag Gamora in, you're watching. Here we go. All right. Giving it 30 seconds. We are halfway there at 15 seconds. All right. Here we go. 10 more seconds. If you haven't gotten in, looks like everybody's gotten in.
It's not your Gamora anymore. That's
Shit.
funny.
All right. Cool. All right. Jay, if you would please spin that digital wheel.
Hey,
Congrats, Ron.
He's not in the house anymore.
Everybody, please hit that thumbs up.
He had to leave at 7, so he doesn't even know. But we'll let him know. Good job. Hey,
Did
Ron,
you find Shaman #1 with 1 in 100 cover?
I think it means Shazam. I think he meant Shazam.
Yeah, they mean Shazam. Hit that thumbs up.
TJ, unfortunately, we did not, my friend. All right.
Wait,
so
who bought it? I thought
he was asking about it.
Yeah, but somebody else bought it.
Yeah, but he was asking about it.
Yeah.
So he emailed me and
if we have another one,
Yeah.
or unfortunately we don't. We have the other ones.
We do. All right. So that is it. Congratulations, Ron. Even though you won't hear us because you had to bounce. I want to thank everybody that joined us tonight.
Did you hit the thumbs up, John?
I did.
Okay. Just making sure, Rex.
From here, of course I did.
Okay,
That's the
just
first thing
check.
I do when I log in, man.
I just checking.
Did you?
Of course, on my phone and on the computer.
What? You have more than one account? That's cheating.
That's helping the algorithm.
That's helping the
All right.
algorithm, man.
Listen, thank you, everyone. What's up next? Robbie, 9 o'clock tonight. You doing your movie review?
Yes, we are. And since it's my birthday this week, I'm going over one of my favorite movies, Repo, the Genetic Opera. Fantastic.
Okay.
Oh, that's a wild movie, man.
Robbie, this week we got to do 2 videos. One, you're promoting Friday's show, and then on Friday you're promoting Monday's show. So Wednesday or Thursday this week, you and I need to do a quick 3-minute clip with the Spider-Man #7. Throwing it out there as a suggestion, a very strong suggestion.
A very strong suggestion.
Well,
What
yeah,
do we
just
have
holler at
next
us. We'll figure it out.
What do we have next on the channel? At 8 o'clock?
I don't know, Jay.
Is it Jenna?
TJ, you're never a jerk. You're awesome.
Yeah. Next, we're gonna have General Disorder. She's gonna be talking about free comic book stuff.
Yeah.
The power doesn't go out.
I'm gonna show you. This is something that I got from an artist named Chris Foreman.
Nice.
This is another artist who does all his art with candy wrappers.
Wow.
That's
Oh,
cool.
wow. Can we have the candy wrapper cover for Dynamite?
Can we get the candy?
And then I'm gonna show you a thumbnail. Chris Foreman also does sketch covers, and here's some of the sketch covers she's gonna have on the show.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
Yep. And then
Yeah.
after that, we're gonna have the Devil's Advocates talking about to slab or not to slab.
All
Nice.
right, cool.
What do you think, Robbie? Should you slab or should you not?
I say no slabs. Free your comics. Let them be read.
people breaking them out of their
You
plastic.
know what? You know what? I will say, Robbie, you and I are on the same page. I don't mind CGC grading new stuff because you can order what you want to get slab, but I can tell you, I have 3 or 4 slab books personally. One was a book that was an auction for Fat Jacks where I won it, and it was a comic cavalcade. I've got Crisis #1 slabbed and Crisis #8 signed by George Perez slabbed. But I think those may be, I might have 1 or 2 others, but I'm not a slabber. Everybody keeps telling me, get everything slabbed. I'm like, I can't do it. I like reading them.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
Everybody,
so
thanks for joining us.
thank
Thanks,
you.
Robbie. His show's
stay
at
tuned
9.
for General Disorder
there's
and
next
then
on our
Rockin
show.
Robbie PCP for
We'll
movie
be here
review.
Wednesday. Nick will be here
Yes, sir.
Friday.
All right. So thanks, everyone. Be safe.
Have a great night. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.